The election's over, and the number one question that I'm getting right now is, Michael, what's going to happen to the real estate market now that Donald Trump is president of the United States? Well, in this video, we'll take a little bit of a dive and see what other people are saying and my predictions of what's going to happen to the real estate market and why I think you might be pleasantly surprised if you stick around to the end on how to navigate 2025 and beyond. Remember, like, subscribe, because here we go.
Why would a Trump presidency be associated with higher borrowing costs and potentially lower homebuyer demand? Well, one definite reason has to do with Trump's budget and fiscal impact. Based on the promises he made during the campaign, the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget is estimating that the U.S. debt will rise $7.8 trillion from 2026 to 2035. But then there's also the matter of tariffs. Trump is a big fan of tariffs, and his policy proposal is to do a blanket tariff of 10 to 20% on all imports, with additional tariffs of 60 to 100% on goods bought from China.
So home builder stock have actually been going down today as well. Lennar is down by 5%. D.R. Horton is down by nearly 5%. Pulte Group Incorporated is down by 3.64%. According to John Burns, who's the CEO of John Burns Real Estate Consulting, said the builder stocks are highly sensitive to mortgage rates and mortgage rate expectations. Inflation expectations are higher now, which impacts long-term rates. So here's my take on that. Trump has said he wants to cut taxes and raise tariffs. The latter, increasing tariffs, raises prices for consumers that we pay, which could increase inflation.
So the first thing they say is going to change under Trump is that we're going to have even higher mortgage rates than we have right now, which I find very fascinating because we've already been promised for a long time that mortgage rates were going to come down, but they've been going nowhere but up ever since the Fed rate cut, and they're probably cutting rates right now.
Why is everybody freaking out about tariffs? Because the thought process is that if I tariff goods coming into the country, then I'll raise prices. And if I raise prices, I'll raise inflation. But that's not necessarily true. Let's look at Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, have this exact same argument.
Years. I like the idea of going to war with China with tariffs to change behavior.
But it didn't change behavior. All it did was hurt American companies.
Weak leadership that doesn't know how to implement.
This is the same leadership. It was Trump who launched the trade war with.
Then it was Clinton saying, let's democratize China, let's show them democracy, and they'll play fair and they'll play fair.
But to Catherine's point,
it's time to raise tariffs to China to 400%.
Hang on a second. Trump already raised tariffs on China.
Not enough.
There have been many steps.
There's the problem. People who are educated in economics versus people who actually make billions of dollars in the economy. Who would you rather listen to? Would you rather listen to Mr. Wonderful, who has multiple companies making billions and billions of dollars, who sees how it works? Or somebody who has an economic background in education? It's kind of like the difference between a realtor and a real estate attorney. I do real estate every day. Real estate attorneys live in the theoretical.
Let's come back to the Europeans in a second. What about consumers? People out there.
They're going to be the biggest beneficiaries.
Yeah, critics say your tariffs will end up being like a national sales tax.
Nope. The countries will pay.
If you have America at the moment has $3 trillion worth of imports, you're going to add tariffs to every single one of them. That is going to push up the cost for all those people who want to buy foreign goods.
Now, what's going to happen?
It's simple mathematics, President Trump.
It's not. Yeah, it is, but not the way you figure it. I was always very good at mathematics. Yes. Let me tell you, you're saying $3 trillion. Those companies, and they don't have to pay. And the higher the tariff, the more likely it is to have them come into the country.
The higher the tariff, the more you're going to put on the value of those goods, the higher people are going to pay in shops.
Ready? The higher the tariff, the more likely it is that the company will come into the United States and build a factory in the United States so it doesn't have to pay the tariff.
That will take many.
No, it will go quickly. Years. In fact, I'll tell you, there's another theory is that the tariff, you make it so high, so horrible, so obnoxious that they'll come right away. When I do the 10% is really, first of all, 10% when you collect it is hundreds of billions of dollars. The numbers that you're talking about, all reducing our deficit.
Okay, well, there you go. The reason that these experts, so-called economists, are predicting that inflation will rise and interest rates right along with them, because higher inflation, higher interest rates go together like peanut butter and jelly, is because they've never been in the world hiring people and seeing how the economy actually works. A pro agenda means that you don't rely on taxation to create income into the federal government. By lowering income taxes and giving people more of their own money, they will be encouraged to spend it. That's called a wealth effect. By that, you increase the revenue into the government. That was proven by Ronald Reagan, who lowered taxes and increased revenue. You will also see that in the states that don't have state income taxes, who are actually more profitable than the states that have extremely high income taxes. The targeted tariffs will change behavior and encourage countries to play on the level playing field that we need in order to compete. And they will bring more jobs back to the United States by increasing the manufacturing in this country. Increasing revenue into the federal government, then paying down the debt, you will actually lower inflation and lower interest rates. Maybe not down to 3%, but you might comfortably see a 5% 30-year fixed mortgage. As interest rates come down and buyers come off the sidelines and start buying homes, and sellers watching more and more buyers coming into the market, encouraging to sell, as the inventory increases, prices will start to come back down, creating more affordable housing, and the housing market will stabilize. And that's what I'm predicting for 2025 and 2026. See who's right, and that's the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below. Let me know what topics you'd like to discuss. Share, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.